Yeah, it's fantastic hearing about this experience yet again, because we hear about this a lot in Interchange. People who, again, you didn't quite fit, so they didn't know what to do with you. So you had maybe a bad experience in the process. And this seems to be much more common than the reverse, which we're told is true. But I really like the idea of you making horticulture sort of a back door to biology and to the study of life and to moving forward. But what I'd really like to know is a little bit more about Lance Phillips. I've heard about a lot of different Lance Phillipses here.
Yeah.
How many are there, and who are they? Which is most central to what you see as yourself?
Oh, wow, that's a deep question. I don't even know I've got an answer for that. Yeah, I mean, I think sense of self. If I did a time machine and I put myself, I was saying this to someone yesterday actually, if I put myself in the time machine, my young self in my 20s, and fast forwarded to now, I would not even believe who I am now, you know. So I'll just freak out, I think. So I definitely, if someone like Doctor Who came and said, come and see your past self, I think, no, that's a bad idea. Because back then, my sense of self was very shy, socially awkward. You know, it was scared of people, really. And I think part of that was not fitting into those sort of boxes of perception of what people wanted me to be, but also me being an extreme people pleaser. So, and I think there's still a nature, there's some aspect of my nature is still a people pleaser in that sense. And I don't see it as a completely bad thing. I do see it as, in its extreme form, it is a bad thing. Of course it is, you know, because you do lose a sense of self through pleasing other people. Because something I did learn, and it took some time to learn this, is so I spent a lot of my time in my 20s flipping. So what I mean by that is, you know, you say something to please someone because you want them to like you, and then somebody else says something completely opposite, but you want them to like you as well. So you agree with them, and then you're flipping back between different opinions and stuff, and that doesn't create a huge stable sense of self for yourself or other people, and you end up not being liked because people don't know who you are, if that makes sense. So so it's counterintuitive, really. So you're trying to agree with everyone so that you can be liked, so then no one likes you because they don't know who you are. So I then discovered I had to just be myself, and that's a hard one if you're a people pleaser, because you tend to put yourself off to one side and agree with everybody. So what did I discover? Who am I? Well, I'm someone who, well, I'm a byproduct of my background as much as anything else, but I've got a brother with a disability, so he lives in the home. So he's got Down syndrome, and part of who I am is someone that I don't like, not just for myself, but for other people. I don't like seeing people pigeonholed or told they can't do things because they've got a label. Never liked that about myself. And one of those things, and that actually happened to me, not just my brother. So I was in primary school. I was put in a special unit. So because I was odd in classroom. And so you described my odd behavior. I don't know if you've heard me say this before. And this is the other thing, I'm incredibly transparent. So that throws people, because I don't mind. I am who I am, and if you don't like it, that's fine. You know, I can't change who I am. As long as I'm being polite and sociable and I'm not being rude to other people, that's different. So yeah, I remember being in the classroom, and I think looking back on this, I'd assume with our modern diagnosis of things, people would probably assume I was autistic. So So I remember living in this little fantasy world in my head because school was boring. So I would create just an alternative because I hated school, and I got bullied a lot at school. And I remember, I think I was about, and also I moved a lot because my family upbringing wasn't particularly stable. So I was always moving. And when you're moving school halfway through the school year, everyone else has formed their friendships. You haven't, so you're the new kid on the block. So you either have to assert yourself very strongly. In one school I did. So I was sort of like the top dog at that school for a while. And then I moved and went to another school where I was the bottom dog, so to speak. So I just got exhausted from all this. And so I became incredibly internal. And I think that sort of formed that creativity I've got still now as an actor and as a creator, is being able to have a hugely vivid imagination. So here, describing this. So you remember those wooden flip desks from school? Yeah. Right. So I remember, I can just imagine what the teacher was thinking. So I was lifting the flip desk, and I wanted to see how long I could hold my breath underwater for, because I'd seen something on television, you know, Guinness Book of Records or something like that, or Arthur C. Clarke's Mysterious World, or one of those things, right? And so I was lifting the desk up, so it was above my head. Oh no, that's right, that's it. I was holding my breath, so I'd go like this. Like this. Now you just imagine a 9-year-old kid, right? And the teacher at the front of the class seeing a kid do this. Like this, totally oblivious to all the other kids around me, right? Totally oblivious. So they took me out of the class. Didn't ask me why I was doing that, really. They took me out of the class and put me in a special needs class.
They missed the entire point. They just, oh.
Yeah, so I was in a class with people that also got bullied, right? And they had Down syndrome or quite severe special needs and stuff, you know. And in fact, you know, some of them couldn't talk, and also, and I was in this class, this special class, and so I saw them getting bullied, you know. So there was one guy that they would tell him to go into the girls' toilets, and he was a boy, and he just, like, people pleasing, you know, he's got a disability, cognitive disability, he didn't know what was right or wrong, and then he'd go into the girls' toilets and get into trouble. And I just went, no, this is wrong. So next time they did it, they tried it again. I said, stop it, don't you dare do that. And I stood my ground for them. Because these boys were laughing because they thought it was incredibly funny. But I thought, actually, the other ones with the disability, this is cruel. And you've got abilities, but you're taking advantage of other people who haven't. So you're sort of squandering the fact that you've got cognitive thought, you've got, you know, both arms and legs that work, and you're not using it to help people, you're using it to destroy people's lives. And I think that is pretty much the sort of social justice aspect for me, is really core to who I am, about equality and social justice, and that we treat people with respect, regardless of how we perceive their ability. I know we all make mistakes, don't get me wrong, I'm not an angel. Angel of chaos maybe, but definitely not an angel. But I do try my best to make sure I'm a better version of myself, and hopefully I am a better version of who I was in my 20s and so on. So yeah, I've always virtually every job I've had, I've always been asked to be the union rep because of that sort of sense of strong social justice. Yeah. When I was studying public health, the lecturers asked me to be the student rep. The lecturers, no, that's weird, you know. So that must be a bit of a core to me. But who am I? I can't really say much more than that. There's all sorts of facets to who I am. I'm also pretty creative, I guess, I think, maybe.
Yeah. And what you said about social justice, and when you were talking about that, and I was going back to all the things that I said in the introduction, and it's so clear. There's this very strong, powerful golden thread that runs through all the variety of different experiences. And that golden thread stems from this powerful, strong need to be supportive of others.
Yes,
and
that's true.
and the story that you've just told us is in full alignment with the expression of the potential that you have designed and redesigned through variety and through covering a span of disciplines. So it really we can see the parallels between these two.